Hello Olga, welcome to Beyond the Stage. Today I'd like to talk to you about your job as a production coordinator at Sound on Stage events, and would love to dive deeper into how events are managed and not just what we see on the stage and during an event basically. So please, can you start by introducing yourself?
Yeah, so my name is Olga Nassar. I'm a production coordinator at Sound on Stage. I've been working there for 10 years. Basically, my job is to coordinate. So this is my job. So my title is a coordinator, so I coordinate.
Okay. And what is your job during an event?
So actually my job starts with coordinating with the client. So the most important part is the coordination with the client and actually trying to find out what the client actually wants. After clarifying what the client actually wants, I try to make things official by asking the client to send me an email. After that, I start coordination with my team, with the team of Sound on Stage, starting with the manager, the sound engineer, the light engineer, the rigger if needed, depending on the requirement of the client. The rigger, maybe the screen operator, and then of course I contact the accounting department to create a certain budget. After the team creates a list of the requirements, then the accounting department creates a budget, and then I will prepare a quotation. This quotation is again sent to the client, and of course sometimes we need things that are not provided in Sound on Stage, so I have to contact suppliers to get what is needed before I write the quotation. After writing the quotation, then again if the client accepts the quotation, then I start coordinating the event itself, creating timelines, organizing with different teams in the company, and of course we do a meeting in order to plan what is going to happen. And of course if there's license, if there's licensing for the event, I will start submitting the permit. That's it.
But like, what's the first step of like organizing that you take during preparation for the event? The very first step you take?
The very first step is making clear what are the requirements of the client.
Okay.
And some clients are not aware what they want. For example, a client might come and ask for a certain wedding, okay? I have to contact the wedding organizer first, okay, to check what is provided in the venue. I have to do a site visit to check what do we need to add to the venue. So making clear what are the requirements for the event is the most important part. What is required, what is not required, what is provided, what is not provided, what my company can provide and what suppliers have to provide. External suppliers have to provide. So this is the first most important part.
Is it always the same steps, or do you like
No, it's different. Like if we have a wedding, it's different than if we have a musical concert, different than if we have a small two musicians playing, for example, in a certain mall or in a certain hotel, so they're different. If the event already has a license, or I'm going to prepare license, and sometimes our company provides, becomes a supplier. So sometimes some other companies contact us to supply some equipment.
Okay.
So this is very simple. We just prepare a quotation, prepare a list, and we supply them with the material needed, with the equipment needed.
How do you deal with the emails and the permits and like the communication with the clients or the suppliers?
The most important part is to always be on time.
Okay.
So checking email frequently, answering emails promptly, making sure before you answer the email that this is what is actually required. So the key is being fast.
Okay, and how important is it to plan before the event?
Oh, the most important part of an event is planning. Planning and organization are the most important part behind any successful event.
Okay.
So we always have time limits. We are always given the venue at a certain time, and we have to do the setup in a certain time. We have to manage how many workers are needed. So if we need extra support from other companies for workers, and we always have a time limit to dismantle.
So you always start like well in advance planning for the event?
The moment the client contacts me is when I start planning.
Okay. And who do you coordinate with?
I coordinate with the client, with suppliers, with different departments in our company. I coordinate with the manager, with the sound engineer, with the light engineer, even with the workers, with the accounting department, with the marketing department, with the government services. So I coordinate with everyone.
Okay, and for the team, how do you make sure they're all coordinated before the event? I mean, like, how do you make sure like everything's going to plan before?
Now, the structure of the company is like, my role is to coordinate with the manager, the sound engineer, the light engineer, and the screen operator, and the rigger. And the rigger has to make sure that he has enough team to do the certain event. So I coordinate with the rigger, the sound engineer, and the light engineer, and they are the ones responsible to prepare the equipment and to prepare the human resources that are needed for a specific event.
What's the biggest challenge you can face usually when communicating with the team?
Now, a lot of challenges happen with communication. Sometimes unclear communication, sometimes miscommunication, sometimes delays in supplies, sometimes everything is clear but a mistake happens.
So it could be
from a certain supplier.
Okay.
I can give you an example. For example, I had an event where I wanted a certain poster.
Okay.
So I contacted a supplier and asked them for the specific poster. I even communicated with them the specific dimensions. I sent the dimensions and it was clear. And then suddenly when the poster was there, which was supposed to be 2 days before the event, there was the shock. The poster was smaller than the one I sent.
Okay.
So this is when I had to contact them again, and I had to ask them to change the dimensions. And of course they argued, but I always refer to the email because I make everything official. They had to send me the new poster, but the new poster arrived on the day of the event. It was so stressful, I was so stressed. I wasn't expecting it to happen, but it happened, alhamdulillah. And they were arguing also about the price. I gave you this price.
It's pretty stressful if things arrive late.
Of course.
What could usually go wrong in preparation for the event?
Like to be honest, we have been doing this for a long time. So problems from our side are minimum. Usually what could happen are challenges in time frames that we are given for setup, time frames for dismantling. Sometimes, for example, there are venues where we are not allowed to use the lift, or we are allowed to use the lift for only 2 hours, and 2 hours are not enough. Sometimes we are not allowed to use the dropping area for a certain time, only for 3-4 hours per day. But in terms of our team is well organized, and they always follow instructions, and we always do the event on time and as planned.
You said you had a problem in a venue once. Could you share with us that problem that you had?
Actually, I had a lot of challenges, but the most recent problem that I had is we had a small event in a certain mall that is away from our warehouse. it was away. So, and actually our team forgot to get chairs and they forgot to get cables.
Okay.
So I was contacted by our team telling me that we're so sorry, but we forgot to get cables. We never knew that we needed cables, and it wasn't clear that we needed chairs, although it was clear, but unfortunately. So I had to ask them to buy a cable from a near supplier.
Okay.
So they bought the cable, and the chairs I had to contact the venue itself to provide chairs. Alhamdulillah, we have good communication, good relations with all of the venues that we work with, because we have been working for a long time. So they were kind enough to provide us with chairs. Problem was solved. Client did not notice anything.
Okay. I want to ask you about deadlines and last minute changes. So if you had a client that changed something last minute, how would you deal with it? Or if a deadline is coming up and problems like you said about the backdrop where you got it on the day of the event, so last second, how do you deal with those problems?
You know, in our work, in our job, we try to build a relationship with a lot of people. So when you have a good relation with suppliers, and when you have more than one supplier to contact, you can always solve these last minute problems. So keeping a good relation with everyone is very important. And having more than one supplier is also important. So I always contact people that are nearby. So if we have an event in Abu Dhabi, for example, I know a lot of suppliers in Abu Dhabi. Okay. Although I might not need them, but I always try to keep good contacts with them, keep good communication with them. You know, small gestures, calling them, checking on them, maybe sending them cards on Eids and something like that. So keeping good communication is very important.
Staying in touch and keeping good relationship with them. And what is one really memorable or challenging project that you faced as a production coordinator? As a project coordinator?
Now, there are a lot of projects that, but the one that I'm most proud of is there was a digital advertising company launching in Dubai. And we wanted to be in a venue, a very luxurious venue. But of course, you know, in venues, they have a lot of restrictions.
Yeah.
So we had to go into the venue at 1 a.m. and we had to use the elevator only from 2 a.m. till 4 a.m., which is only 2 hours. And the event required a lot. It required furniture, a lot of furniture, couches, chairs, also carpets. It required screens, 24 and the venue was in the 7th floor. So imagine.
Pretty high up, yeah.
Yeah, so we used the elevator for 2 hours. We couldn't get everything up. Then we were like, oh, what are we going to do right now? Then we had to hire extra laborers, and those laborers had to lift our things up to the 7th floor. And even if it's the 7th floor, but when you use the stairs, it becomes 14th floor because the elevator doesn't stop at every single floor. We had screens, we had backdrops, we had stage, we had lights, so imagine all of this equipment. And then everything has to be presentable because this launching event was recorded. And we had to cover everything. We had to cover the back of the stage, we had to cover all the wires, everything has to be clean and neat. So the team had a sleepless night and a very tiring day. Towards the end of the day, we all felt that we were very, very tired, but thanks God, the client was very happy, was very pleased to an extent that he approached me and gave me a small gift. I was very happy with the gift. It was very rewarding because the event went smooth. The client was happy. He did not know what challenges we passed through, but at a point when we were trying to lift the things up, we thought that we will not be able to make it. Okay. So at one point we will not be able to make it. It's impossible. And then no, we believed in ourselves and we said, let's try something else, and it worked, alhamdulillah.
So what's memorable is that it was really challenging, but you were able to push through, and seeing the event happen at the end of the day was a really nice thing for you guys to see, especially with all the hard work you had to do. Okay, and if there's someone that wants to join and work as a production coordinator or as an event manager, how would you advise? What would you advise them?
They have to be very well organized.
Okay.
Their communication skills should be excellent, not good, not very good, excellent. And they should love what they do. If you don't love what you do, you will not be able to make it, because sometimes we have sleepless nights. Mm-hmm. Although I'm just a coordinator, but the stress that you pass through because you are the one responsible for all the team and for all of the organization is a lot. So sometimes you have sleepless nights. You don't have weekends sometimes. Sometimes you cannot spend Eid with your family because all your events are during Eid. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you cannot travel with your family because all your events are during
the
vacation.
In December, the vacation, Christmas.
So you should love what you do. If you don't love what you do, try to look for another job.
Thank you, Olga, for joining me here today at Beyond the Stage.
Good luck.
Thank you.